If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I'm a big fan of romance manga and anime. I've said on multiple occasions that I prefer shoujo over shonen, so it's not a surprise that after my last video like this one, I found 5 more romance manga that I think deserve an anime adaptation. From the last 5 I suggested, only one has gotten an anime adaptation so far, and that was Rental Girlfriend. So let's see which one of these manga eventually gets one as well. Anyways, before we begin, in the comment section below, please comment one of your favorite rom-com mangas that you think deserves an anime adaptation, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notification, like the video if you do end up enjoying it, follow me on social media, and finally, with all that out of the way, let's get on to the video. The first manga I'm going to mention is a little controversial because it involves a student-teacher relationship. Now before I continue, I will say that in real life this should not be allowed, this is a crime, and honestly I'm not that big of a fan when they do it in anime. But when reading this manga, Sensei Can't Teach Me About Love, I couldn't help but love the series. You see, the difference between this series and others that try to make the teacher-student relationship trope work is that this series doesn't push it past halfway to first base. Like, they don't even get to first base. This series focuses primarily on just 2 characters. We have our male student Ryo Arase and our teacher Rinko Yoshitaka. And by the beginning of the series, they are already a couple, or they plan on being one once Ryu turns 20. The best way I could describe our male lead is like Sakura 2.0 from Bunny Girl Senpai, as he also has a very monotone demeanor and often likes to tease his sensei while still respecting their decisions to wait until he's 20. He's 17 by the way. As for our sensei, she's a tsundere, but not the violent kind. While yes, she still gets upset or shouts at Ryu whenever he does try to push his luck a bit more, she never gets violent with him and often takes care of him as he does live alone. Arguably in the series, she's my favorite character because she's just so goddamn adorable, as she really likes Ryu and constantly has to restrain herself from progressing their relationship even further. Most of their dates, if you want to call it that, are just when she's tutoring him, as Ryu is a terrible student and Sensei is the strictest teacher in the school. Or whenever she just cooks dinner for him and just drops it off at his place and they just have a nice little chat. I will say that this series doesn't consist of many just like wow moments or moments that will shock you, like some other romance drama have, as again they never really even get to first base. But if you do like a sweet series that has very heartwarming moments that will make you believe that there's someone out there for everyone, this is one series you should check out and hope gets an anime as well. Moving on to another series that needs an adaptation, we got It's Not Meguro's First Time. This is the one that I just recently caught up to and I couldn't put it down until I did. The story follows our 2 leads. First we have Kogo-san, who is your stereotypical loser in these rom-com series, and Meguro, who's the most popular girl in school. Yep, it's gonna be one of those. This series starts with Kogo-san confessing to Meguro and shocked when she actually accepts his confession, but also telling him that she isn't a virgin. From there out, their story focuses on these 2 lovebirds just trying to figure each other out as they aren't alike at all. Between the 2, Meguro gets a little more focus as she gets many chapters about her first relationship and how it scarred her and how she really doesn't know how to feel love anymore. It's only going out with Kogo-san and seeing how thoughtful, kind, and generous he is that she realizes how she fell in love with him. It's another series that has some drama, but it's mostly a lot of innocent, wholesome moments with great laughs thrown here and there. It's also one of the few series that has the female character development take priority over the male, so it's a little refreshing to read and I really hope it gets an anime soon. At number 3 we have Yancha Gao no Ajo-san. I think I said that right. For the last couple years, Japan has had an infatuation with the smirk-faced female lead, and I'm a huge fan as well, and I'm super excited about a similar series called Nagatorosan getting an anime next year. So if you enjoy teasing master Takagaki or Nagatoro, you will enjoy this series as well. It's pretty much about a gal named Anna and a socially awkward nerdy boy named Seto, and this series revolves around Anna just teasing the living hell out of Seto, and generally has some of the funny stuff I've read in a while. And unlike teasing master Takagi-san, there's a lot more romance in this series and I think great character development by our male lead Seto. At the beginning of the series, he was kind of your boring MC that was easy for you to self-implant to which I've never been a big fan of. They're just boring in my opinion. But gradually, as I kept reading, I started to like how Seto was developing. He becomes much more confident and starts to tease Anna back a little. One chapter in particular really sold the series for me, which were chapters 25 and 26. When Anna lost her cat and Seto went out with Anna to look for the cat, but it was too late. And they shared a very sad but touching moment together. And I was just like, yep, I love these two together. And I'm a fan. There's other chapters like this where you can see why Anna fell in love with him, not just because he's the MC, and vice versa. So check out this series too if you're interested. Moving on to number 2, let's talk about, let's see if I can say this right, Soredemo ayumu wa yosetekuru. God, that was rough. Anyways, out of all the series I'm talking about, probably this series I think has the highest chance at getting an anime adaptation for one reason. This manga's other work already has an anime with 2 seasons. You see, the creator of Teasing Master Takaki-san is also the creator of this series. And for the most part, it has a similar formula as Teasing Master. But sort of reverse, this series focuses on 2 characters, Urushi Yatome, our senpai and the president of the Shogi Club, and Ayumu Tanaka, our junior and other member of the Shogi Club. And sort of like Teasing Master, this series doesn't have a strong overarching plot. It's a slice of life series. But it's just mainly these 2 hanging out in the club room for the most part, just teasing one another. Literally the cutest thing you could read right now. What makes it so funny is that our senpai sorta has a Kaguya vibe to her as well, as she kinda thinks that her junior has a crush on her, so she goes out of her way to try to make him confess by putting herself out there, only to be shot down in a very cute way. Here's the catch though, our junior does indeed have a crush on her, but will only confess if he could beat her in a game of shogi, which he can't because he's a fairly new player and she's well experienced. The back and forth that these 2 do is second only to Kaguya and Shirogane from Kaguya-sama. It's that good. And I really hope this one gets an anime soon as well. Moving on to our number 1 spot, we may be an inexperienced couple, but stupid title I know, but it's currently my favorite series that doesn't have an anime. Because right now my favorite mangas that I'm reading is Rental Girlfriend and Kaguya, which both already have an anime. But I really want this one to get one as well. This series focuses on Ikuma and Sumika Saaki, who are 2 childhood friends who recently just married. However, despite being deeply in love with one another, they have yet to have sex. And that's it. The series follows their daily lives as a married couple as they try to become intimate with one another, while also focusing on their growing relationship as a new married couple, as they both have to grow accustomed to the other's home habits. And honestly, it's such a fresh read. Rarely do we get a series that focuses on a married couple or an already established relationship. We usually get the high school setting one where like the 2 polar opposites, you know the deal. Which is something that I enjoy, but still, I need something fresh. And this series really changes it up for me. The last series I read like this was Love is Hard for an Otaku, and that was a huge success. Mainly because it was targeted for an older audience. So can you imagine how a series revolved around a married couple trying to have sex for the first time will be received? If this series gets an anime, I think it'll be very popular. And if you're worried about this series being too ecchi because it revolves around sex, and you're not a fan of that, don't worry, it never really goes that far. But it does have its fair share of fan service for both girls and boys. That's the end of the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, I really appreciate if you could drop a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification, and again, leave a comment section below for one of your favorite romance mangas that you think deserves an anime as well. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.